How strangers treat you at every level of wealth. Level 1, $0. This is the level where you disappear before you even open your mouth. Every stranger interaction becomes a small transaction of risk. The cashier's eyes move to your card before they move to your face. You start doing the math in your head before you speak, not after. At the counter, a teller named Frank slides you a laminated overdraft notice without looking up. He's done this so many times the paper has gone soft at the corners. 2 people down, a woman in scrubs taps her card once and walks out with a coffee and a receipt she doesn't check. You watch her do it the way you'd watch someone speak a language you used to know. You stop rounding up at the register. You stop making eye contact until the total clears. Somewhere in there, a small thing shifts. You start speaking a little quieter in stores, like you're trying not to take up room you haven't paid for. $0 is not judged. It is simply skipped. Level 2, $50,000. You are 26. The number lives in a savings account you check more than you'd admit. Strangers don't know it's there, which means nothing changes yet. You're still standing in the same lines, driving the same Corolla with 112,000 miles on it. At a birthday dinner, the waitress, Rachel, refills your water without being asked, but not your friend Marcus's. He ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, and it shows in how she moves past him. You notice this. You don't say anything. You leave a better tip than you need to, like you're trying to prove something to a room that isn't watching. At the bank, Frank finally looks up when he sees the balance. Not warmer, just longer, half a second longer. The shift is quiet. You start to understand that money doesn't announce itself. It just changes the length of someone's glance. $50,000 buys you nothing from strangers. It buys you the first flicker of being looked at twice. Level 3, $250,000. You are 31 now. The number includes a house you technically own 11% of and a 401k you don't fully understand. On the outside, nothing about you has changed. You still wear the same 3 shirts on rotation. At the car dealership, a salesman named Greg walks toward you fast, then slows down when he clocks your shoes. He doesn't slow down for the man in the suit 2 spots over, who turns out to be there for an oil change. Greg is not wrong to guess. He is wrong about you specifically, and you can see it land on his face when the pre-approval prints. Later, at a real estate open house you have no plans to buy from, the agent, Elena, hands you her card before you've said a full sentence. She's read something in the way you stood in the kitchen, testing the counter with your palm like you were checking if it was real. Strangers start extending you a small, provisional trust. Not warmth. Trust. There's a difference, and you feel it before you can name it. $250,000 is the first amount strangers start guessing about instead of dismissing. Level 4. $1 million. You are 38. It's a Thursday in October, and the number crosses 7 figures for the first time, quietly, in an account you check on your phone in a parking lot. Nothing about the parking lot changes. That's the part nobody prepares you for. At the private banking desk, a different desk now, a different building, a man named Marcus, not the friend from before, a different Marcus, calls you by your first name before you sit down. He remembers your daughter's name from a conversation 4 months ago. You wonder, for half a second, if he actually remembers, or if it's in a file somewhere with your photo attached. At a restaurant, the host walks you to a table by the window without asking. Your old friend Doug, the contractor from the gas station, still your friend, still driving the same truck, orders a beer and gets carded. You don't. Nobody explains why. Nobody has to. Something in your posture changes without your permission. You start walking into rooms like they were already expecting you. $1 million doesn't make strangers like you. It makes them remember you. Level 5. $5 million. You are 44. The number sits across investments you now pay someone else to track. You have stopped checking the app every day. That, more than the number, is the tell. At a hotel in Scottsdale, the concierge, a young man named Jordan, greets you by name before the front desk does. He's read a note you didn't know existed. When your card doesn't match the name on the reservation for a fraction of a second, nobody flinches. The system already decided who you are before you walked in. You run into an old coworker, Priya, a different Priya from a job you left a decade ago, and she asks what you do now, careful, like she's afraid of the answer, either flattering or embarrassing her. You give a small answer, smaller than the truth. You've learned that the full number changes how people sit across from you. The contrast isn't wealth versus poverty anymore. It's visibility versus invisibility, and you're standing fully in the light for the first time, whether you wanted to or not. $5 million is the amount where strangers stop asking what you do and start assuming they already know. Level 6. $20 million. 51 now. The numbers on paper you don't fully read anymore, summarized once a quarter by a man who calls it the position. Nobody uses the word rich to your face. They use words like comfortable or established, which mean the same thing spoken more quietly. At a charity gala, a stranger you've never met touches your arm mid-sentence, like you're already friends. Her name is Rachel too, a different Rachel, and she laughs at a joke you didn't finish. Across the room, your assistant, Elena, the same name from the open house, a different life ago, reads a room before you walk into it and tells you who to avoid. You notice people watching your face for reactions before they finish their own sentences. Somewhere in there, you stop being a person in a room and start being a weather system people check before they speak. $20 million is not attention. It's forecasting. People plan around you before you arrive. Level 7, $100 million, 58. The number is an abstraction with a legal team attached to it. You haven't held cash in years. You haven't stood in a line in longer than you can place. Strangers you meet now have already been told who you are before you shake their hand. A driver named Marcus, the third Marcus, and you've stopped noticing the coincidence, opens the door before you reach for the handle. A journalist asks for a comment on a deal you don't remember approving personally. Somewhere far below you, a version of yourself is still standing at a Wawa doing math in his head, and you know it, and it doesn't reach you the way it used to. The people around you now are curated. Nobody says no to you by accident. You start to wonder, quietly, at 2 a.m, whether anyone in the room actually disagrees with you or has simply stopped bothering to. $100 million doesn't buy you honesty from strangers. It buys you the absence of it, delivered so smoothly you might not notice it's gone. There's a Wawa off a different route now, one your driver passes on the way to the airport, and you catch it out of the corner of your eye at 7:42 a.m, a version of the same building, a version of the same light. Someone is standing at the pump, doing the math you used to do, deciding between $8 and $20. You don't know his name. You'll never know it. 20 years ago, nobody remembered your face in a place like that. Now nobody forgets it. Both are still just a stranger deciding how much of you to see.